Hey, this is John Carlos, and I just picked up Loki from Corner Store Comics, my most anticipated Hot Toys release this year. So let's open this sucker up already. All the other Hot Toys Avengers figures had the side symbol and lettering in reflective silver, but Loki comes in reflective gold. All the Avengers have a two-color scheme when it comes to their packaging. I thought green and gold for Loki was an appropriate choice. And here Loki is compared to some of the other Avengers packaging. So right in the package he comes with his helmet and handcuffs, his Hannibal Lecter mouth guard, and 2 throwing daggers, along with 7 hands, 4 left hands and 3 right hands, and the usual extra wrist joints. He also comes with the 2 versions of his spear, the short and the long one, and the figure stand. Also comes with the instruction manual and his cape. If you've seen my other reviews, you know that detail and mixture of material and costumes gives me a pretty mean hard-on, and this figure's costume is very impressive. Some of the things that impress me are the little gold studs that line his costume, the detail work in his shoulder piece, the detail work on his wrist piece, the red little jewels and gems embedded in his arms. There's some good sculpting on this strap that goes across his chest. You've got this kind of cloth material, contrasted with this arm cloth, contrasted with the green cloth, contrasted with the plastic, which is a different kind of plastic than that. You've got this leather, which is a different kind of leather than this. That's a lot of different materials being used. Also, his outer leather material has green underneath. You may not be able to notice from the front, but his pants also have that bracketed silver material and a burgundy material, and this sort of striped, really well woven leather that leads into his boots. And like the Avengers Thor, his feet are articulated from the rest of his boots, which I really like a lot. Hey, guess what? Hot Toys did another awesome face sculpt. What a surprise. Here's a look at the back of his head and hair. When I saw photos of this final head, I gotta admit, I like the pictures of the prototype head more. But now that I've seen this in person, I think this turned out way better than it photographs. In fact, I absolutely love this head sculpt. I think it's a great likeness. And now I'll look at some of the accessories. Here's his handcuffs. Now you're going to need to pop his hands off his wrist peg, slide these over, and then reattach the hands. What's really cool is the chain's made of metal. And here's Loki's little predator breathing mask. Some nice detail in the copper lining right there. Some good texture. And Loki's 2 daggers. They're the same on both sides. And here's Loki's helmet. And damn if it ain't really nice looking. Now I'm not going to show you all of his hands, but just here's an example of some of his hands and the detail that's on top of them. Here's a closer look at the short spear. And here's a close-up look at the open long spear. Here's a comparison of the top of the 2 spears. As you can see, the bottom longer one has this extra blade here, which makes it look more, I don't know, ready for attack than the top shorter one. So here's how you put on his Shredder mask. And now I'll show you the handcuffs. Oh. Well, I gotta admit, that was a lot easier to do than when you had to plug in the capes for the DX Batman from Dark Knight Rises. Similar to the problem I had on the Avengers Thor figure, except slightly more so, the folds in the cape are not exactly even. They start out pretty great at the top, but then they sort of get wonky as you get further down. I mean, when you stand the figure up front, it still looks great, but if you're looking at it from the back, it's very odd. Hey, so I'm trying to attach the helmet, and I'm having a really hard time attaching the bottom from the top. It's kind of hard to see in there, but there's these two little clips on the side and a clip on the back, and they really hold this sucker in place good. But I found if you just pull it really hard, it pops off.
But these are the little clip hooks that I was referring to.
Now you have to pull the mask apart just a little bit, just to get it around his head. Well, I got one side clicked. Let's see if I can get the other. Hey, alright. That's how the back should look. You know, for all that I read about what a pain in the ass this helmet was going to be, it wasn't as bad as I thought. And here's Loki in the interrogation room with Batman. Oh, sorry, wrong Hot Toys companion, wrong movie. Okay, here's Thor and Loki, posed with their traveling Tesseract device. Loki was one of my favorite things about Thor. He was also really awesome in the Avengers. In fact, I think he's my favorite thing so far about the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So I was really looking forward to this figure. It's easily one of my favorite Hot Toys figures. Not just because I like Loki, but the detail on the costume is probably the best detailing I've seen on a Hot Toys figure yet. I was really surprised by how much articulation I got, especially in the legs. I thought that his leather pants might be restricted, but I got him into some really good squatting positions. The arms are more articulated than I was expecting. I thought this costume would restrict stuff, especially in the shoulder, but that shoulder piece does not restrict the shoulder movement much at all. I don't know about any of your figures, but mine's ankle joints were really loose, so I'm going to be using the display stand to display it always because he wants to keep falling over. The costume alone makes this an A+ figure, and if you're a Loki fan like me, I think you're going to love this. Easily one of my favorite figures. Jane's given it up. She's given it up hard. See? She's with Captain Hammer, and this is not the hammer. The hammer is my penis.